Demon of Detroit. It all started in the early 1960s when Mr. and Mrs. Adams moved into the house in Detroit, Michigan. They had 5 small children and a pet dog. Almost as soon as they moved in, the family seemed to sense that there was something wrong with the back bedroom. All of the children avoided it, and even the dog refused to go inside. It was a tiny room with just enough space for a bed and a built-in closet in the corner. Mr. Adams worked the night shift at the Cadillac assembly plant, so when he came home in the morning, he would sleep in the back bedroom. It was far enough away from the rest of the house that he thought no one would disturb him. However, sleeping in the bedroom always gave him a strange and uneasy feeling. Almost immediately, he began to experience horrible nightmares. They were so vivid and real that he would wake up screaming and shaking with fear. In one of the ghastly nightmares, he dreamed that he opened the closet door and the blood-soaked and mutilated body of a woman fell out. As the days went by, the dreams became worse and worse. He lost so much sleep and he was so exhausted that he ended up moving back to the master bedroom with his wife. The nightmares suddenly stopped when his mother came to visit the family. They let her sleep in the back bedroom. The next morning, she said she didn't get a wink of sleep. Her face was pale and her whole body was shaking. She claimed she had heard terrible sounds in the room that went on all night long, as if someone was trying to break in. She refused to sleep in the bedroom again and decided to cut her stay short and go home. After that, Mr. and Mrs. Adams began to realize that something dark and loathsome was lurking in the back bedroom. Then an old friend of the family came to town and they gave him the room for the night. They didn't mention a thing to him about their own unpleasant experiences in the room. Shortly after midnight, the man was lying in bed when he was awakened by the feeling of someone turning him over. He opened his eyes and saw someone standing outside the bedroom door. It was a woman with long hair, but she had her back to him. She was wearing a short fur coat and a blue dress. He got up and started walking towards her, but all of a sudden, every light in the house went off. He was stumbling around in the darkness, and when the lights came back on again, he found himself in the kitchen. Mrs. Adams was there, washing her hair in the kitchen sink. All of a sudden, they heard a terrible, unearthly wailing sound that left both of them speechless with fright, and a sickening smell filled the room. Then the heavy trap door in the kitchen floor that led to the dirt basement started opening and slamming back down. Terrified, they called the police. Within minutes, a few officers were searching the house from top to bottom, but they didn't find anything. The next morning, when Mr. Adams got home from the plant, his wife and friend were waiting for him. As calmly as they could, they told him what they had experienced during the night. He didn't believe them. That evening, he decided to sleep in the back bedroom. He was just about to drift off when he heard someone moving in the room. He thought it was his wife, but when he called her name, there was no answer. He turned over to look and saw a hideous face just inches from him. It was the most horrible thing he had ever seen. The eyes stared past him and the mouth moved to talk, but all that came out was a hissing sound and a terrible stench. Mr. Adams came running out of the back bedroom, his eyes wide and screaming with terror. He was ripping handfuls of hair from his head as he ran. His friend tried to grab him and hold him down, but Mr. Adams went berserk, kicking and fighting. Finally, his wife and his friend managed to throw a blanket over him and wrestle him to the floor. The house was filled with the same nauseating stench they had smelled the night before. An hour later, he had calmed down enough to tell his family about the ghastly and indescribable face he had seen. The husband and wife grabbed their sleeping children from their beds and fled into the night. The next morning, they all moved in with Mrs. Adams's parents in a different part of Detroit. The Adams family had to admit defeat, and they left the house and the back bedroom to the horrific entity that was lurking in it. The Demon of Detroit.